Hi, my name is Jorge Cortes. I'm the Assistant Director of Architecture for the Department of Aviation, Planning and Development Division at Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International Airport, the busiest and most efficient airport in the world. The Planning and Development Division is the technical arm of the Department of Aviation that supports the overall airport sustainability management plan led by our Airport Asset Management and Sustainability Group. Here at ATL, we have always been committed to sustainability. As we move forward, we are focused on implementing sustainability campus-wide through planning, design, and construction. We do this by achieving sustainability at the highest level possible on all projects. We continuously develop and achieve best-in-class sustainability efforts globally and supporting the overall sustainability goals of the airport and the city of Atlanta. Our P&D sustainability program sets standards for sustainability goals for all projects, establishes a campus-wide tracking and benchmarking platform. Our P&D sustainability program sets standards for sustainability goals for all projects, establishes a campus-wide tracking and benchmarking platform, and outlines an integrative implementation process. As we move forward with rolling out our P&D sustainability program and implementation of the ARC platform, we ensure that sustainability is first and foremost for our entire campus and in all phases of design, construction, operations, and maintenance. ARC will be used as a benchmark for all airport sustainability measures and improvements, as well as a score to compare to other airports. It will help identify inconsistencies in improvements and lead to more educated evaluation during the planning phase of major retrofit and new construction projects. All activities and resources used for the building's useful life will be tracked and accounted for. It will also help a building achieve LEED existing building and maintenance certification to continue performance evaluation measures. This approach to tracking will give our airport the opportunity to gauge sustainability on a level that exceeds traditional building certification by including infrastructure and site improvements into a campus-wide evaluation. ARC is a great tool to track sustainability. We use ARC to measure, monitor, and improve sustainability metrics in the categories of energy, waste, water, and human experience. In addition to tracking sustainability building by building, we have adopted the Lead for Communities platform to capture sustainability efforts airport-wide. Our progress thus far has been a successful team effort. Our P&D staff, asset management, and sustainability group, our sustainability consultants, and USGBC. This partnership is taking sustainability at ATL to the next level. We are looking forward to sharing the next era at Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International Airport.
Hello there, I'm Kevin Hyde. I'm the CEO of Integral Group. We're an MEP firm of engineers around the world, and we're 10 years old at this point. I wanted to talk to you about how excited I am regarding the ARC platform and ARC products generally. We've been involved with the development early on of the dynamic plaque. A couple of years ago, in fact, we piloted the use of it in our buildings. Two offices in California, Oakland and Los Angeles. And part of doing that is part of our role in industry to be early adopters, which is really important to all of us. And I think what's important about that is we can give feedback to continuous improvement. And that's what we're seeing with the ARC product today. I think we're seeing a platform that, from its evolution had a big idea. The big idea was to really make sense of all this data that we've got. And, consistently we hear from all of our clients and our own people that there's an overwhelming amount of data, and how can we harness that for the better good of the planet and the people? So, today we see most of our major clients, whether it's private sector or public sector, they're wanting to make sense of the data. They're really interested in true evidence, and I think this is what ARC, really does provide the potential for the future. Most of the mega trends we see are all driven by what we term evidence-based thinking and design, and definitely people-centric, people-focused. And this is what actually ARC is also focused on.
And I am the Sustainability and Environmental Resources Manager for Boston Public Schools. Boston Public Schools is using ARC to collect and analyze our sustainability data and create whole school sustainability profiles for each individual school. These profiles will align with our district's master plan as well as the City of Boston's Climate Action Plan. Additionally, ARC will empower school communities to understand their building performance and inspire them to take action to reduce their environmental footprint and increase their ARC scores. Students are currently collaborating with facilities management to collect, upload, and analyze the data. This is creating exciting hands-on learning opportunities while using the schools as a teaching tool and helping us communicate our sustainability story.
Please welcome Harry Gordon, Vice Chair, GBCI Board.
Well, thanks for joining us today at this master session. I think it's going to be a great session. My opportunity is to introduce my friend Scot Horst. Scott is the CEO of ARC Scoru, and you're going to learn a lot more about the benefits and the values of ARC from he and the panelists that you'll be hearing. I want to tell you a little bit about Scott. Before he became the CEO of ARC, he was the Chief Product Officer for USGBC, and in that role, he oversaw the development of LEED from the 2009 version to the V4 version. He also created the concept of the LEED dynamic plaque, which introduces the whole idea of measuring performance and being able to track that over time, a key element of ARC. He also founded the LEED International Roundtable, so he's got a terrific background. But I'll bet there's something you didn't know. He's done a lot of things in his life, and the most interesting for me is he used to be a professional opera singer. And so, if you really want a treat, after the session, ask him to sing the Nessun Dorma aria from Puccini's Turandot.
No, don't ask me to do that. Welcome, everybody. In 1994, the rap group De La Soul put out their fourth album called Stakes is High. And they start the title track by having a homeless man give a little dialogue. And he's talking about what it's like to be on the street. And he says, you know, it's not like it's so bad all the time. Like, sometimes it's actually okay. It's not like like people are hitting on me or anything. He said, but sometimes I get really hungry, and sometimes I get really down. I start getting really depressed, and then I just don't know what's going to happen. And he ends by saying, stakes is high. This is relevant to us because it tells us something that, like, when things are down, the stakes are higher. You know, when you have less, there's more to lose, which is kind of oddly true to us. For us, things are down and the stakes are high. The largest emitting nation in the world pulls out of the Paris climate talks, Paris Climate Agreement. Stakes are high. We've got a number 40. Does anyone know the amount of emissions that buildings add to the total amount of emissions, carbon emissions in the world, in the country and in the world? 40, right? You know what? We've been using that number 40 since I've been doing this work for 17 years. We still are using the number 40. Stakes are high. I don't want to use that number 40 anymore. I want to use 39.9. I want to see us moving that number at least some, but we need to move it in a significantly different way. Stakes are high for us. Now, this is a relevant term because the term of our conference is all in. All in is an American colloquialism. If you look in the dictionary, you won't find it. It's in urban dictionaries, and it comes from poker. So in poker, when the stakes are high, you put all your cards down, and you say, I'm all in. You got a lot to lose, but you also potentially have a lot to win. We are all in. For us at ARC, what we're about is saying, our cards are on the table, and we are saying every building in the world, not just the LEED buildings, not just the platinum buildings, we want a score of 0 to 100 on every building in the world. We want an understanding of what's happening in that building so we can get that number of 40 down, way, way, way down. But we need to be able to measure, we need to be able to understand what it is, we need to be able to see it. In order to do that, we're standardizing in a different way. So instead of standardizing a set of rules on the front end, like we've done with LEED, which has been highly effective, we've helped a lot of people, especially in new construction and design, know what they need to do to make a better building. Now, instead of that, we're standardizing outcomes on the back end. So we're taking data that's coming from buildings, and we're standardizing what those outcomes are so we can connect people to what's happening instead of telling them what they need to do. Standardization is important. We've all dealt with this issue, right? Traveling to a different part of the world, and we have to bring our plug adapter. We're providing feedback. We're our feedback mechanism. We are not the diet book. We are the scale. We're telling you whether what you're doing is working, but we aren't telling you how to get there, and we don't even know how you're getting there. In order to do that, we have to change our thought about leadership. We have to say leadership, see, when LEAD was begun, we said leadership is the top 25% of the market. So we said we're going to recognize leadership by giving plaques and badges to the top 25% of the market. And the idea is that we keep moving the needle by changing how the system rules are set. So we set the thresholds in the system, we move it up, and the whole idea is that the rest of the market follows the leaders. And that's worked incredibly well with new construction in primary markets everywhere in the world, but it has not moved the needle at all with existing buildings. Just hasn't moved it. It's not to say that we don't have leaders doing existing buildings, but we're talking about all those buildings that you see outside, not the beautiful, amazing buildings. We're talking about all the buildings that we want to start to see improvement with. So what that means is that leadership is not, for us, is not the top 25%. Leadership is being in the race. Leadership is being in the game. Because you don't know by looking at this picture whether someone is fighting some issue, dealing with something, and just being there is leadership. We are now saying anyone that is improving, anyone that's in the pack, anyone that's part of it is a leader. It can come from anywhere. We are building something together. We're creating tools that allow us to harvest something great in ourselves. So we've done that by building a platform. We aren't a software company, but we make software. We're a tool provider, just like LEAD is a tool, but we're providing a platform for those things to come together and connect using data, which makes it a lot easier to understand how you know what you're doing or how you're improving. We give you a score. It's a very simple score. The idea is the score should be able to be conveyed to anybody. You should be able to look at the score whether you know what a kilowatt hour is, whether you know what energy is, whether you know what anything is on the street, as a practitioner, as a genius. You should be able to look at this and understand we're doing better or we're doing worse in each area. And you should be able to communicate that all the way up and down the chain, because we know that buildings and cities can only improve when everyone becomes involved. One of the things we've done that I'm very excited about is we've disaggregated the scores, because we know everyone isn't going to come in and do everything that we want them to do. So we want to get them in the game, get them started. So we have a 0 to 100 score in each category, and those all roll up into a 0 to 100 score for the total building. But this, because we are global, this is the first global energy score of 0 to 100. It's the first global water score, the first global waste score, the first global transportation score, and the first global human experience score in the world. And we've built very powerful analytics. Because we have so many interesting gifts, I'm not going to show you what these analytics can do today, but I encourage you to go in the platform, because the most exciting thing we've built is analytics that allow you to track targets that you set. So you say, I want to reduce by 10%, or I want to reduce by 5% this year, and you just keep watching as your data goes in, you keep watching and seeing if you're on track. It's been a really interesting year. In less than 12 months, we're at 11 months, we have been taking in projects all over the world. Here you see the global nature of ARC and what it's starting to be able to do. These are projects, obviously, in every continent of the world, although we're clearly lacking in some, but just getting started. And what this gives you a picture of is our ability to start to connect with the world in a way that we can't. See, we have LEED as a global system, and we can connect and understand gold to gold. But here we can connect and see where is best practice happening, because we know the carbon associated with the building, we know the water, gallons per person and gallons per person and gallons per square foot, waste per person, waste per square foot, on and on. So we can start to see where's the best stuff happening so we can mimic it and try to do it in other parts of the world. And I'll tell you, the secret is Sweden is off the charts. And you know why Sweden is off the charts? They are off the charts because they understand how their buildings connect to their grids and to their cities. And you see it because a medium performing building in Stockholm is much higher performing than the best performing building in the United States. Because they're connected, they're seeing how they all work together. We have 800 million square feet using ARC in 11 months. I am quite sure we're going to get to 1 billion. I was hoping we'd get to 1 billion before the conference, but it looks like we're going to get to 1 billion before 1 year. We have 2,114 buildings in the system. We're in 66 countries. We have 20 cities and communities in the system. I've heard that we have another 15 cities that even at the conference so far have said that they are interested in joining. See, ARC, there's this incredible flexibility that comes when you're focusing on performance, because we can use the same method to look at space as we do at a building, as we do at a group of buildings, a campus, as we would a community, as we would a city. And you're going to hear some about that from users today. We also have a lot of very exciting firsts. We've got our first, because we're so new, it's very exciting. We've got our first airport, it's in Delhi, our first building in Seattle, our first city, Washington, D.C., our first transit station, our first skyscraper, our first stadium, our first hotel, our first convention center, our first state capitol, our first hospital, our first university. And you see this flexibility of different types of buildings that we can address because we're using data that's coming from those places and not having to standardize on the front end that would never be able to apply to all those different types. So now we're saying transparency, sharing what you have, opening it up so we can see it, accountability, knowing that your green building is indeed a high-performing green building, improvement, taking steps, small steps, big steps, any step to improve is leadership. Now, I have to just make an announcement before I introduce our speakers. And this is very exciting to me because our strategy this first year is something we learned from LEED. Don't boil the ocean. Don't try to get everybody to do everything. But go after the people that understand who you are and support them and give them tools to improve. So we know that portfolios or groups of buildings oftentimes have 1 or 2 LEED buildings in them, or they might have a number of LEED buildings in them, and then they have a whole number of non-LEED buildings. So we went to a whole bunch of these groups and we said, how about you put your non-LEED buildings in with your LEED buildings in ARC? And you'll get a score, and now you can start to see how your non-LEED buildings are comparing to your LEED buildings. And maybe actually they'll be pretty close. And if it's not so far, maybe you do a few things that actually gets you to certification, because ARC lines up directly with LEED and can lead right to certification. So I'm very excited to announce that in a very short period of time, we had some major commitments from major organizations. Boston Properties has agreed to put all of their projects in ARC, all of their non-LEED projects in with their LEED projects. Vasakronan in Sweden, a huge leader in high-quality building and management, has agreed to put all of their buildings in ARC. Kilroy Realty, we're going to hear from them today. They have agreed to put all of their buildings in ARC. Vornado Realty Trust has agreed to put all of their buildings in ARC. Parkway has agreed to put all of its buildings in. Paramount Group, Inc. has agreed. Girding Edlin, we're going to hear from Girding Edlin today. Commonwealth Partners has agreed. This adds up to a total of over 400 projects. at 130 million square feet in less than 2 weeks. So what you start to see is the ability to scale when we're using data and outcomes that could never happen when we're just coming from the front end. So this session is very exciting to me because some of you I know, you've been hearing me talk about this for a long time. But what I really am excited about is that I'm not going to talk about this today anymore. You're going to hear people talking about it that are using it. You're going to hear people that are leaders that are about transparency, accountability, and improvement. And you're going to hear them talking about things that they're doing that aren't credits on the front end, but are getting measured on the back end. Without any further ado then, let me announce the first person who's going to come out and talk to you. You're going to hear people from 4 different continents using all different kinds of buildings and a city. But we're going to start with a friend of mine, Kevin Hyde, who used to be our chair at U.S. Green Building Council and has been a leader in our movement for many years and is now CEO of Integral Group. Kevin?
So we heard from Harry that Scott's a great singer. I usually like to start every session with a song, so I'd like you to join in. Our favorite song, U.S. Green Building Council, is You Are My Sunshine. Are we ready? You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray. You'll never know, dear, how much I love you. Please don't take my sunshine away. Thank you. Thank you. Now I've only got 2 minutes and 30 seconds now. That'll do it. Anyway, Scott's been on this journey of creating ARC for the 10 years that I've known him, this idea of performance. I mean, our own firm, Integral, has been designed intentionally around trying to get the best ideas we can that are out there, but actually make sure they work, because a good idea that doesn't work is not much of an idea. So we, self-imposed the first evolution of ARC was the dynamic plaque in 2 of our offices in California a couple of years ago. We wanted to really understand what this tool was and could be, so we committed to that. And what we were intrigued by was in our Oakland office, which at the time had the highest LEED points in the world, 102 points for an existing building, LEED Platinum, that when we applied dynamic plaque to the office, we were not quite scoring 102 every day. And I think we all know that the notion of performance, the notion of ARC is to really constantly work at attaining the highest level you possibly can. So for us, it was a real reminder that continuous performance is really what it's all about. And as Scott mentioned, we need to apply it to not just the new buildings or the LEED Platinum buildings, but to all buildings. So we've been going down that path ever since. What I thought was really powerful, and I want to give Scott and the ARC team an awful lot of credit right now, because as an early adopter and using the tool for the first time, we could see some things that we thought could be improved or should be improved, and we put together some of our thoughts around that. And I can tell you for an absolute fact that those improvements and suggestions were incorporated into the current version that you see today. And I think, the ARC that we see today will be different than the ARC that we see tomorrow, because we're committing to a journey, we're committing to a lifelong commitment for continuous improvement, performance, and using ARC is the best tool that I know in the system that can get us there. So I'd like to thank USGBC initially for really starting the idea, Scott personally, and now ARC going forward, because I think the tone, the theme of this conference is all in, and I think we all need to be all in. So Scott, you can count me in. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I'm Tommy Wells. I'm the director of the Washington, D.C. Department of Energy and Environment. So I don't have a song for you, but I do have a story. That 20 years ago, Washington, D.C., a city of 680,000 people, about the same size of Boston, about 20 years ago, Washington was bankrupt. It's a city that Congress had to appoint a control board to help straighten out the city's finances. Then we fast forward to about a month ago. A month ago, Washington, D.C. was designated as the first LEED Platinum city in the world. We have more Energy Star buildings in our region than any other area in the country. We have added more green roofs per year over the past 3 years than any other city in the country. And we also are second only to New York City in the sheer number of LEED buildings in our city. And New York City, of course, 10 times larger or more than Washington, D.C. We have a sustainable energy utility that we fund to bring down our energy use. And we also have a renewable portfolio standard that our buildings have to follow. So how did we do that? Well, first you have to have leadership. Our past 3 mayors have said green is good. They've led with leadership. They've brought on people to say this is important. They've invested in it. And our current mayor, Muriel Bowser, has made it a priority through me. The other way you do this is you have to have a plan. So we have a sustainable DC plan that has benchmarks and measures, so we always know how we're doing. We're benchmarked and measured to the public, to our citizens who help build the plan. We have a clean energy DC plan. Almost every city or state has a comprehensive energy plan. The one that we adopted now is a roadmap to meeting the clean energy goals and the greenhouse gas reductions that we've set as a city. We also, and every community has to have this now, we have a resiliency plan called the Climate Ready DC, with about 77 actions that have to be taken to prepare for climate change and to prepare the city. Now, our mayor came forward after the president did back out from the Paris Agreement. Our mayor came forward and said, we're all in. We're still in the Paris Agreement. And so part of that is because 50% of the world's population lives in cities. 70% of all greenhouse gases are caused by cities. Cities are the problem, but cities are the solution. And the only way we get there is setting goals, having plans, being benchmarked, and being held accountable by the people that put us in office. Thank you very much.
Hello, my name is Maya Henderson, and I'm the Sustainability Manager at Kilroy Realty Corporation. We're based in Los Angeles, California, and we have been recognized as a North American leader in office sustainability by GRESB, the Global Real Estate Sustainability Benchmark, for the last 4 years. Kilroy is a publicly traded investment trust and a member of the S&P MidCap 400 Index. With over 70 years' experience in developing, acquiring, and managing office and mixed-use assets, we are one of the West Coast premier landlords. We have registered 5,179,000 square feet of our total 14.4 million square foot portfolio in ARC. We decided to pilot ARC to help us streamline the LEED EBOM certification process for our existing building stock. My team has a goal of achieving 100% LEED certification for our entire portfolio. And we recognize ARC's potential to evaluate and effectively prepare projects for LEED certification. I believe ARC allows for more engagement with our portfolio's performance tracking and assessment mechanisms. For example, ARC has prompted us to look more critically at our waste diversion and engage with our team and vendors to address challenges that we recognize. Being able to visually track the data over time and across the registered portfolio helps us better understand what trends and opportunities exist so we can initiate action. ARC is visually and engaging. It offers a one-stop shop for LEED project management. Being able to manage my portfolio from one tool is very useful. Moreover, I appreciate the ability to track and capture data over time, which makes data preparation less of a burden, both in the initial certification and when it comes time for recertification. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Jeff Dino with the Dragon Group. We specialize in sustainability consulting, construction management, and I've been working with the Hartsfield Jackson Atlanta International Airport's Planning and Development Department to put together a sustainability program. I'm extremely excited to announce that ATL has officially become the first airport in the world to be awarded pre-certification under the Lead for Communities performance rating platform. The airport has truly embraced this year's Greenbuild theme, All In. As part of a larger effort of airport sustainability initiatives at ATL, we have developed a sustainability program to ensure integration of sustainable design through planning, design, and construction. This program consists of specific sustainability goals to achieve minimum levels of certifications for all project types, including LEED, ParkSmart, Sites, and Envision. As we progressed through the development of this program, we found that there was no way to capture past success and future sustainability initiatives moving forward. And that's when we found ARC. We said, hey, this platform will be able to score all of our buildings' performance regardless of certification. Perfect. Except building level monitoring didn't meet all of our needs. We wanted to be able to capture all of the great work at the airport on a macro level with the ability to drill down to individual project level information. So we called USGBC and told them our vision. After countless phone calls, emails, and meetings with USGBC and airport stakeholders, we found that the Lead for Communities platform was the answer we were looking for. The benefits we have already seen during our pre-certification process and the conversations surrounding the Lead for Communities platform around the airport include a shift in mindset and newfound collaborations. Departments that were traditionally working in siloed spaces are now working together on unified campus goals. We have also seen a shift from prioritizing achieving the highest level of certification possible to achieving the highest level of performance possible. To track performance and bring all buildings to an enhanced operational efficiency, we have begun to put all airport-owned and occupied buildings into the ARC platform. This includes terminals and concourses, cargo buildings, and fire stations, and all auxiliary support buildings throughout the campus, totaling over 100 structures. This will provide a transitionary approach to achieving existing buildings' operations and maintenance certification, which aligns with the City of Atlanta's Green Building Ordinance to achieve EBOM certification concurrent with recommissioning. Through the Lead for Communities platform, we have adapted the program's existing metrics and developed and integrated additional metrics necessary to properly measure progress towards the airport's sustainability goals. We have been working closely with USGBC to define an ATL-specific airport performance score and look forward to working closely with airports globally to collectively define an industry-wide airport performance score to substantiate all claims to the coveted greenest airport in the world. Thank you very much for your time, and on behalf of the Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International Airport, I invite all of you to come see our progress as you make your way to Greenbuild Atlanta in 2019.
Hi, my name is Adriana Hansen. I'm the consulting manager and head of sustainability interiors and materials for CTE. CTE is a Brazilian consultants and management company specializing in quality, technology, management, sustainability, and innovation for the construction industry. Since 2006, CTE has been developing an important role in Brazil, leading the green building construction sector. Currently, the Brazilian market comprises 1,700 projects that are seeking for LEED certification, totalizing around 340 million square feet. Out of the 98 million square feet already certified, CTE was responsible to support the certification of 53 million square feet. This is more than 50% of the market. Our project consists mainly of new constructions, interiors, and buildings that are under operation. By the way, consultants for buildings under operation has been growing very, very fast in Brazil. During this year, we had 22 projects, new projects, all using ARC platform. This project totalizes 9.5 million square feet. From these 22 projects, 14 are LEED certifying projects that are looking to keep the performance. Other 80 projects aim to improve performance, strengthening tenant relationship and brand. One of our most famous projects is Faria Lima Tower. Faria Lima Tower has already 3 LEED Gold certifications, all supported by CTE, one for the design and construction, one for its interiors, and more recently, one for its operation. Now CTE is using ARC platform to monitor Faria Lima Tower performance, identify opportunities to improve the operation, especially waste, water, and human experience. Our goal right now is to achieve LEED Platinum, and we are almost there with 75 points. ARC is also helping us to provide just-in-time information to our clients and tenants and facility teams. There are several important features in the platform, such as the online score that is helping us, and the platform is also extremely friendly user, and that is why CTE is at the top ARC platform for all our buildings. Thank you so much for this opportunity to share a little about our company and Brazilian market.
Hi, I'm Sean with RCI Engineering. We're a building design, green building consulting firm. I oversee our Asia-Pacific operations. I'm going to highlight some of the projects that's embraced ARC in this region. Cathay Financial Center is a 24-story Class A office building built in 2001, about 600,000 square feet. We took about 18 months to get them LEED Gold certified. It was their first LEED project, and they were able to reduce 868 tons of greenhouse gas emissions. The owner was obviously thrilled and wanted to apply LEED to their entire portfolio, but they own and manage over 200 buildings, and they didn't want to wait a year and a half to get the results. So we introduced them to ARC as a way to track and manage their energy and water usage, and we work with them to put their buildings into this platform so they can identify, compare, and create an internal benchmark for the portfolio. See which buildings are the energy hogs. So ARC for Cathay is a way of getting information and making the right decisions. The second project I wanted to share with you guys was Zhanghua Christian Hospital. They were established in 1896. They own and operate over 40 hospitals in East Asia. They're the first to get LEED for healthcare gold certification in Greater China, and they have incorporated LEED as a standard for new constructions. They have a lot of, so after having a stock of a lot of LEED buildings, they want to know that these buildings were performing. Are they maintaining LEED Gold standard? So we were tasked to track their energy, water, waste, IAQ, and human experience. Having a lot of charrettes with these medical experts, they really love seeing the graphs in the analytics section of ARC. The analytics section graphically shows the inefficiencies. During the meeting, they mentioned that ARC is similar to a health exam or a health checkup. So I thought to myself, that was the closest I was going to be to being a doctor. Okay, so earlier this year, I was also selected by the mayor of Taichung City to be on his Smart City Steering Committee. Taichung City has a population of 2.8 million and has initiated over 100 smart city projects. The mayor wanted to communicate to people that they've done, they're doing a positive impact. And I explained to them the concepts of ARC, the powerful concepts ARC that you could compare, track, and report progress. So we've been able to do it successfully at a building level, and we could apply it at a city scale. So with ARC, he was able to justify to his taxpayers why making certain investments for his city, and it can integrate his incentives. So this is a pilot project, and I look forward to sharing with you guys in the next Green Build. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Kamala Jones. I'm the Sustainability Coordinator for the Austin Convention Center Department. We have 2 event facilities, the Austin Convention Center, which was certified LEED Gold EB in 2011, and the Palmer Event Center, which was designed and built to LEED standards in the early 2000s, but was never LEED certified. We are currently pursuing our second recertification for the Austin Convention Center using the LEED ARC, and we are submitting the Palmer Event Center for initial certification in LEED ARC as well. The reason we chose LEED ARC was that in 2015, when we were nearing our 5-year time frame for recertifying the Austin Convention Center, we started to explore quickly what we needed to do, and we became aware of the performance score platform. And after looking at the 5 categories that it required us to document, we realized that we were pretty much doing everything they already wanted. We were already entering energy and water use into the Energy Star portfolio platform. We were already tracking our waste diversion for Palmer and for the Convention Center. That was part of our LEED requirements, but also part of a department performance measure. We were already submitting about 4 times a year a survey to the employees, and we were also tracking our employees' transportation, alternative transportation use of telecommuting and 410 schedules, bus use, bike riding, walking. The hardest part for us was the TVOC and CO2 requirements. We weren't really sure what that involved, and after a few months of researching it, we found a company that could do the testing for us, and since then we found a couple other local companies that can do the testing for us as well. So what we've learned from ARC is that we thought we were doing a fantastic job with our waste diversion. We were diverting 60 to 70% of our waste on average, and we thought we were great. And so when we got our score and saw that we were only getting 3 out of 8, we thought, what's going on? And we learned that a convention and event facilities generate a lot of waste. There's a lot of items brought in by the conference, and a lot of items given away, and a lot of items left behind by the conferences. And so our waste diversion footprint, our waste generating footprint is very large. And we also learned that in the summertime, our building actually is fairly energy efficient, which I was a little surprised about because it's so hot. I would figure that we would do worse in the summer, but we actually do better. The overall impression is that it frees up a lot of my time from documenting and tracking, and I can now focus on things like reducing our waste, improving our energy and water, and encouraging everybody to purchase the right products. Additionally, the City of Austin has seen how easy it was for us to become recertified using ARC and is now actively pursuing entering their portfolio facilities into ARC, and then also with the intent to recertify existing buildings that could be certified. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Renee Loveland, and I'm the Sustainability Director for Girding Edlin, a commercial real estate firm based in Portland, Oregon, that provides investment management, property management, and development services across the country with a strong commitment to environmental and community impact. We were early supporters of the USGBC and have been pursuing LEED certification across our portfolio since the 2000s. We are firm believers in the value of third-party certification. The USGBC has created a leadership standard that continues to evolve in response to the market, but also generates new and innovative tools that allow us to capture and communicate the full impact of our sustainable design and operational strategies. Let's take a moment to consider Brad. Brad works in a 670,000 square foot multi-tenanted commercial office building in Chicago called 200 West Adams. About 18 months ago, our firm acquired the building and began a value add strategy with focus on environmental responsibility. Brad had heard about the building's Energy Star certification. He saw the LEED plaque and he knew it was already LEED Gold certified. And he knew that these were good things. But what did it really mean to him to work in this building? How did these things affect him? And why should he care? Our goal is to answer that question for Brad and everyone who lives and works in our buildings. Transparency and tenant engagement make ARC different. ARC distills the markers for healthy, sustainable buildings down to just a few key essential metrics that everyone, especially tenants like Brad, can understand. In order to be successful in ARC, tenant participation is key. Tenants need to be educated and inspired so that they are motivated to change their behavior. This, in turn, challenges operators to think of more creative ways to do so. The result is a stronger overall focus on nurturing behavior change, which leads to better performance outcomes. The renovation work at 200 West Adams included the addition of a new amenity space on the 17th floor of the building that included a lounge, a new fitness room, a rock climbing wall, and a conference facility. We added bicycle storage, lockers, and showers. We launched a building-wide composting program after we beta tested it with 2 of our retail tenants, including Starbucks. We expanded the building's recycling program to include e-waste, and we're very surprised at how much we were able to recycle out of that program. We also created a green team that meets regularly with the building staff to talk about sustainable practices, and we also throw quarterly sustainability events that are open to all of the tenants. In addition to several significant MEP upgrades to the building, we recently launched a retro commissioning effort. Being benchmarked in ARC against other high-performance buildings gives us a better understanding of where we really sit compared to our true peers. We scored high in tenant satisfaction, which was very much appreciated after all of the efforts that we put in to make the amenity spaces more usable. And we saw that we had good indoor air quality results. The transportation survey showed that 50% of the buildings occupants commuted by train. And we see that we need to focus on reducing our water use. This will be our second building to be certified in this platform, and we see it as a valuable portfolio management tool. We are especially excited that now a pathway exists to certify properties that we acquire that have previously not been LEED certified. Most importantly, with ARC, we find ourselves engaging with our tenants about healthy, environmentally responsible buildings in a new way. The transparency that is inherent in the platform means that we can set targets, address performance challenges, and celebrate our accomplishments in partnership with our tenants. Energy, water, waste, and alternative transportation challenges can be easily tracked in ARC. Our tenants become invested in the outcomes and better understand the impacts of their daily actions. We believe that Brad now has a greater visibility into how the building design and operations supports his health and well-being, and the many ways that environmental responsibility is demonstrated at the building. We want Brad to appreciate the power of behavior change. Brad may not always work at 200 West Adams, but wherever he goes, we want him to care about his environmental footprint. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Giridhar. I'm the CEO of Sierra ODC, a software development company based in India. And we are the developers of e-facility and enterprise facility management software. Our software development center was recently rated as the world's second highest ranking green building under LEED NC 2009 category, scoring 103 points. We have implemented the ARC platform right from the day we got certified to measure the daily performance of our building. So why we implemented ARC? So we are a specialist software company who work closely with building automation companies in developing energy monitoring dashboards for their key projects. Having built such dashboards for our clients to track and display multiple building operational parameters, we very well understand the significance of the ARC platform beyond the certification needs. The ARC platform displays a score that is simple and straightforward, and when this is on display in the common areas, it improves the awareness of the building occupants, which can help in motivating them to improve their energy efficiency by cutting down wastage. It also helps in keeping our facility management team on their toes while attending to issues that impact the energy efficiency and health aspects, since the score gets impacted immediately and displayed to the whole company. The results is significant cost savings and improved user comfort. This also leads to the improvement in preventive maintenance activities, leading to improved equipment life cycle. Initially, we used a simple spreadsheet provided to upload the data into the ARC platform, which required a bit of data accumulation effort. But sitting in one of the most automated buildings, we wanted to automate this process as well completely. So the ARC platform has an easy-to-use API that can automate the data integration, and we could use this to fully automate this process. The BMS provides the energy, water, and air quality data. Our e-facility modules, the time and attendance visitor management system provides the occupancy data. The canteen management system and the waste management system provides the waste data and so on. With this direct data integration, the data accuracy is generally 100%, and we are able to do this uploads daily because it's fully automated. We believe measurement, verification, and corrective measures are extremely important for good performance. And for buildings, the ARC platform helps in this area significantly and also makes it fully transparent other than helping in the lead rating process. So today we are displaying the ARC score in our greenestbuilding.com website publicly. Our current score is 93 on 100, and we hope we can maintain and further improve the score. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is John Hoy, and I'm the resident manager of the Vanguard Chelsea, a LEED Platinum EB residential high-rise located in New York City. The Vanguard Chelsea was built in 1999 and opened in 2000 as a partnership between the Albanese organization and Prudential Real Estate. A 27-story multifamily high-rise, the Vanguard Chelsea offers green living to 300 families in the Chelsea area of New York. Sustainable and healthy living are tied to our identity at the Vanguard. During every project we undertake at the Vanguard and with our two other LEED Platinum buildings, the Solaire and the Rhodesian in Battery Park City, an important question that we always ask each other is, what can we do to improve on our outcome? We use tools such as the BMS system, Building Link, and LogCheck on a daily basis, so incorporating ARC into our routine was a natural progression for us. We use ARC to verify and provide feedback on our energy, water, garbage and recycling, and most importantly, our resident satisfaction. Unlike past rating systems with LEED, we see ARC as a rating system that is going to hold its participants accountable through scoring and rating processes. As I update our energy usage, as I receive our resident satisfaction surveys, I know in real time where I need to make progress or where my strengths currently lie. With the continuous tracking of the data, I know if I'm going in the right or the wrong direction. Another reason our team is excited about ARC is the ease of its use. Punch in your energy metrics and see what your score is in real time. Did I beat my usage from last month? Did I beat my usage from the previous year? Feedback is always going to be our best critic. As we look to constantly remain on the forefront of energy sustainability and first-in-class service, ARC affords me the opportunity to see just how much change needs to be accomplished to reach a new goal or to gain an extra point in a specific category. The Vanguard is a high-performing building not only because of the systems in place or the staff that manages these systems, but because of the residents that choose to take an active role in enjoying a high-performing home. Some residents are happy to receive the benefits of living in a home that provides first-in-class service and cleanliness. Those same residents also take the opportunity to sign up to attend our urban herb and vegetable garden, to compost on a daily basis, to turn off their lights as they leave their apartment, to participate in our car share programs, and to use public transportation to commute to and from work. ARC connects us with those residents through surveys and feedback. Residents also take these ideas that they learn in their homes and connect with their coworkers and classmates when they're outside of the building. I always hear visitors to the Vanguard ask how we come up with the idea to supply residents with vegetables from our urban garden or honey from our active beehives on our roof. I wish my building did that is a common phrase that we enjoy hearing from our guests as they leave through the lobby. As with green cleaning practices, energy-efficient light fixtures, water-saving devices, the present and continued future of sustainable and environmentally friendly multifamily high-rises within our portfolio will continue to take advantage of the ARC platform and the real-time accountability that it holds its users to. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Roberto from Espera. We are a sustainable project management and energy efficiency consulting firm based in Costa Rica, of more than 23 million square feet and 60 lead projects experience in 7 countries in Latin America and Africa. We're a multidisciplinary team of young professionals brought together by a personal commitment to protect the environment. Being from Costa Rica, that's very important. And we have a passion for new challenges. So we really want to change the paradigm of design, construction, and operations in harmony with nature. Most of our work is done in the beautiful and environmentally rich area of tropical Latin America. So it is our mission to turn this area into a leader of development and protect that so that other countries in the tropics can imitate what the tropical Latin America is doing. Our 1,000 square feet office space is located in one of Costa Rica's first skyscrapers, I might say. It's 13 stories high, so I don't know if that's called a skyscraper yet. But we decided to move there to show people how you can really achieve healthy, efficient, and conscious spaces in existing buildings and reduce urban sprawl at the same time. So by doing that, we wanted to really be what we're called in our region. We're called like the sustainability nerds. So we need to show how we're doing that in our offices. So we said, okay, we're moving to a bigger office. What can we do here? Let's turn this space into a lab in where we can try the strategies and certifications we're recommending our clients. So as part of that, we decided to go for LEED certification, and we're very proud to say that we were the first LEED V4 in Central and South America and achieved the LEED Platinum level. By that, when we get to know about ARC, we said, okay, we have to get to know about that and really start using it in our office. So we started with ARC about six months ago, and we really like the part of having real-time knowledge and real-time data. Since we're super competitive among us, we really want to see how we can keep improving our space, and at the same time see where we were failing. For example, for human experience, we were extremely disappointed when we saw the score that we were getting. So we said, okay, what can we do here? First thing, we said, we're not measuring VOCs, and some of the meters for CO2 were not calibrated correctly. Now we're thinking on even going for a well certification to make sure that human experience is perfect in our space, one of the most important things for us. Then in transportation, in Costa Rica, we have a real rainy season. So we noticed that the transportation patterns to the office changed significantly during the rainy season. In addition to that, our train system is not been working very well lately. So during the rainy season, that's 8 months a year, most of the people have to drive to the office, and we're still finding a way to correct that. Waste, I think we're doing pretty good in waste. We have a strong zero waste culture in the office. We made the recycling bins bigger, the composting bins bigger, and we kind of hid the trash can so that people don't find it easy to throw the trash in there. Regarding water, it's one of the most important things for us, and we noticed in the past month that our points were reduced. So we had to do some investigation to see what was happening. 2 of the sub-meters were not calibrated correctly, so we're recalibrating those sub-meters. And the other thing was that we have a green wall there in our office, and we were not measuring how much, well, we didn't know that our green wall was consuming so much water. So we will just go open the valve every other day and close it and let the plants irrigate by whatever we thought it was okay. So now we're installing moisture sensors in the soil to make sure that we only irrigate when needed and with the volume of water needed, not just what we think it's needed. So hopefully we will see an improvement in that area. In energy, same thing. Since we've been tracking our energy consumption, we were pretty proud of that, and then the last 2 months it went high and our points dropped. So what can we do here? We started doing another analysis. We are installing extra sub-metering system so that we can know where are we losing this energy. And in addition to that, they're doing some remodels in the roof of their building so that we have not been able to connect the photovoltaic system. We think that once we do this, we might be even able to be net zero. I really like how ARC has worked in that continuous race that we have against it or with it to improve every month. And after having tried it for ourselves, we're ready to tell our clients and convince them to start using it because it has worked for us, and we're completely convinced that it's better to have it that way on a real time than just a statical thing. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon. My name is Catherine Walsh, and I'm the Sustainability and Environmental Resources Manager for Boston Public Schools. Boston Public Schools, which is a school district comprised of over 130 school buildings, is using ARC to track and analyze our sustainability data so that we can create whole school sustainability profiles for each of our participating schools. These profiles will align with Build BPS, our district's master plan, as well as the City of Boston's Climate Action Plan. Additionally, ARC will empower school communities to understand their building performance while inspiring them to take actions towards reducing their environmental footprint and increasing their ARC scores. Students are currently collaborating with facilities management to collect, upload, and analyze this data. This is creating exciting hands-on learning opportunities for the students who are using the schools as a teaching tool, all while helping us better communicate our sustainability story. And now it's my honor to pass it over to two of our incredible student leaders from Boston Latin School.
Hi, I'm Zoe Nagasawa. Adam and I are part of YouthCan, a student environmental group. We go to Boston Latin, the oldest school in the country. As the oldest school in the country, we have an old building and all the systems and problems that go with it. I am excited about the way that the ARC platform is going to help us improve our sustainability by allowing us to track data. As youth, we're not always so excited about statistics, but we're doing our best to protect our planet. Already, we are planning to implement waste and water audits. We are going to measure how much trash, recycling, and food waste we produce as a school daily. We will also use ARC to track transportation impacts, air quality, and the building's the environmental behavior of the building's occupants. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Adam Crom. I joined YouthCan 3 years ago as an 11-year-old because even then I cared about the sustainability of our world. We are, after all, the generation most affected by pollution and climate change. That year I collected data on solar and wind for a science project. I believe in the use of data to demonstrate and track environmental progress. We're both so excited that Boston Public Schools is using the ARC platform and that YouthCan and other students at Boston Latin School will be engaged in data collection, tracking, and taking actions to be more sustainable. Thank you.
And I'm very happy to announce that even though the school districts that we have in the system, we have 9 school districts in the system, and none of them are quite all in yet, but 10 million square feet of them are tracking their energy and water data. So this is something for you all to know that, like, you have a school district where you are, they can be using ARC. We'll let them use it for free for now. Call me. By the way, ARC is free for any LEED project to be able to track your data for all time, and very low cost for anybody else. If you have an issue with the cost, we consider it a maintenance cost, but if you have any issues, call me or call the team. I'd like the ARC team to stand up if you wouldn't mind. They've worked really hard on putting these stories together. These stories... And I have to say, these stories, I had no idea what these stories were going to be before today, so I was very excited to hear so many interesting stories. What really struck me about them is that there was a language around action, a language around doing specific things in the building that were related to the score, but it wasn't about ARC. So to me, that means we're on the right track. I'd like to ask all of these leaders to join me back on stage just to, so you can see them all together. And I'd also invite all of you in the future to use the system in any way you see fit. Think of all portfolios where you live. Think of your local government. Think of your local schools. Think of anyone you know that has a group of buildings. Anyone. We want them in the system. We want every building to have a score of 0 to 100. This group is transparent. They're accountable. They're doing improvement. They're leaders.
Thank you. Good job.
Thank you.